What I like from Germany? Well, the people are very nice. It takes a little bit time to get to know them because they're a bit serious. I like it.
With 82 million people living in the midst of Europe and about 360,000 square kilometers, Germany is the most densely populated country in Europe. It stretches from the high Alps in the south to the shores of the North and Baltic Sea. In between are found the forested uplands of central Germany and the low-lying lands of its northern part, traversed by some of Europe's major rivers such as the Rhine, Danube and Elbe. The largest cities are Berlin, Hamburg, Munich, Cologne, traversed by some of Europe's major rivers bordered by Denmark, Poland, Czech Republic, Austria, Switzerland, France, and the Benelux countries.
I like Germany because it's quite an interesting country because, well, it's sort of a mixture between an old culture and new culture. People can find lots of things to do in here, lots of places to visit, and for instance, you have really nice buildings and very modern things, but at the same time you have castles and you have really old constructions.
The German history and the feeling of Germanhood go back more than 1,000 years, but the state now known as Germany was unified by the Prussian Chancellor Bismarck as a modern nation-state only in 1871. Imperial Germany proved to be an unstable entity, coming to an end with the First World War. After a brief attempt of democracy in the Weimar Republic, Adolf Hitler and his Third Reich started the Second World War. The defeat resulted in occupation and 45 years of division. The country was split up into the Federal Republic of Germany, held by Western powers, and the German Democratic Republic occupied by the Soviets. Western Germany celebrated fast economical development, while in GDR the living standards have fallen down, and in 1961 the authorities constructed electrified barbed wire frontier with the Berlin Wall to halt immigration. In 1989, the socialist government to East Germany was overthrown by people. The Berlin Wall fell down, Berlin became the capital, and the newest chapter of unified Germany began.
However, although the state made a huge economical effort to equalize the standards in the Eastern and Western Germany, the history has still the strict relations to the differences in terms of economics, social standards, and environmental pollutions in Germany of these days.
The East still has not reached the economic level of the West, and therefore there's a lot of problems, especially unemployment in the East. A big problem that is discussed in Germany today is the so-called wall in the mind. But I mean, after all, it was 40 years of separation, 40 years of whole different types of thinking taught in both countries. And therefore, I think it will need at least one generation until this overall impression of unified Germany will, or that the people will think about Germany as one country, and that there will be no discrepancy between the East and the West anymore. But that's a process that will definitely need time.
In Germany, you can find a well-balanced combination of knowledge, either practical or theoretical, and besides that, you can get in touch with leading-edge technology companies that are based in Germany.
In its continuous attempt to improve and facilitate social, economical and political environment, Germany is stressing the role of education, following the internationalization and globalization trends also in this field. The NIT is also connected with the concept of the social market economy, from which German economic policy has taken its cue since the middle of the 20th century.
The structure of higher education, university education in Germany, is shaped by the fact that it's all about public universities. Public universities are mass universities. Mass universities have advantages and disadvantages. The advantage is that the average higher education is much higher. The average is better than, for example, in the United States, where you have some very excellent universities and the rest is not as impressive. The disadvantage is, of course, that you have no excellence, except in maybe some fields, but you have no Harvard and no Princeton and no Yale. Internationalization is a buzzword in the current discussion about the German higher education system. There is the Bologna process, which obliges all universities to award bachelor's degrees and master's degrees until 2010. This has many advantages. It makes Germany compatible with the rest of the world. On the other hand, we will lose some brands, just as the, for example, diploma engineer. The University of Technology in Hamburg is a very good example, because they started as one of the first universities with international programs and now has the highest quota of international students in Germany, which is a major asset. The NIT, the Northern Institute of Technology, has about 90% of international students and is very internationally oriented.
I found Germany actually not that different from Estonia, because it's still like European culture more or less.
Since its foundation, Germany has been a driving force for European unification and works on integration of social, economical and environmental aspects. Being a member state of the European Union, Germany adopted its common currency, the euro. The lack of necessity to convert or exchange currencies is not the only advantage of belonging to the EU community. Its members are free to choose their place of residence, work and education. No obstacles impede the cross-border passage of goods, services or capital. A joint constitution is being drafted.
What I liked in Germany at the first was the civilization and the respect towards people in work. Everybody knows that the best cars are produced in Germany.
Having the largest economy in European Union and the third largest in the world, Germany is the biggest net payer to the European budget. It is the European Union's industrial locomotive and a significant participant in Eastern European economies. Germany is a major source of direct investment, the second largest buyer of tourism services, and the world's second largest importing and exporting nation. German industries of automotives, electronics and breweries are globally recognized. Companies generate almost a third of their profits through exports, and almost 1 in 4 jobs are dependent on foreign trade. The high level of international competitiveness is most evident where companies view with others in the international arena.
One thing I guess I've really been impressed with in Germany is the importance of a family and the central core of the family and how much people rely on that.
Open-minded, modern and tolerant, these are the hallmarks of German society at the beginning of the 21st century. Supported by consistent measures from the state to ensure equality, there has been a change in the interpretation of the roles men and women play. An increasing number of couples are now sharing domestic chores and the task of bringing up children, who are regarded as parents' partners. Violence as part of the bringing up children is despised, whereas peaceful coexistence with people from other countries and cultures has become part and a parcel of everyday life. Around 9% of the population is foreign. In every 6th marriage, one of the partners has a foreign passport.